Oh, it's time for movies. And oh, is it time for movies? That is motherfucker. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this while I deal with technical difficulties that I am gonna destroy. Uh, Please enjoy my logo that I messed up the other day. So The Force Awakens is, god damn it. Basically, to sum it up really quickly, while I fix this, is I love The Force Awakens. I think it's my favorite one of the trilogy, of the like 30 movies now. The window's not minimized. This is a disaster. What is this gonna do? What? Please watch as I fuck up everything. Come on, I have pictures. You're killing me. That's not nice. That's on me. I don't even know if I can fix this while it's streaming. Fun time. Great. Great. Motherfucker. I can stop this and put this back together. That's what I'm gonna do. Boom. Was that so fucking hard? OBS, was that so hard? I just had to restart you really quick and that solved all the problems? Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The Force Awakens. Okay. We're gonna get back into this. Now I have to do editing. Great. This movie is everything I want from Star Wars, essentially. It does rehash everything, but it is so good. And what it does better than basically any of the other six movies is it has characters you care about instantly. And not only that, because I care about a lot of the other characters too, it the writing for them and the dialogue between them is so much better in this. The lines that Finn has, the jokey lines that he has, like with Poe or with Han, are great, and they're so much realer than anything in the prequels or even in the original trilogy for the most part. And in particular, the writing for Han, I think, is the best. And Harrison Ford does the best job of being Han in this movie than any of the other ones. It's crazy to me how how it took this new movie for me to realize like this is the Han everyone always talks about. The cool kind of bumbling bounty hunter guy is finally in this movie, whereas in the other ones he's just kind of a dick for half the time, and in Jedi he is frozen for half the movie. Spoilers, I guess. Not really. But even more importantly, the new characters here are so much just they're just fun and like alive, and they're interesting to watch in a way that especially no one from the prequels were. But I guess I'll go through. There's a lot of beats. Like there has been some complaints about this movie being too much of a nostalgia trip, I guess you could say. And I get that, and it definitely does rehash, I don't know, the entirety of A New Hope in a certain perspective. But that's not really a bad thing. Largely, I don't necessarily care about that. I think it does the pacing and the set pieces a lot better and a lot in a different way than you'd expect. Um, and there's so much good um, references, like the AT-AT on the ground here. So cool when they're in the Millennium Falcon and Finn pulls out the little training orb that Luke used. Awesome. There's so much great stuff, and I'm not a big fan of the droids, like R2 and C3PO, but I like BB-8. He's cool. He kind of beeps too much, but I like him. And I didn't think I don't like the droids. Like if you watch the I think it's the international like a Chinese trailer for The Force Awakens, it has so much more beeping and booping. It's really strange. I don't know if that's a cultural difference. They want beeping droids more. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But it's so good, and it's so fun. Like these moments where the characters meet each other and they interact. It's just so, I don't know. There's something about it that's just fun and alive. And even though I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, I mean, I watched all the other ones right before this, and they were kind of all equal for me. Jedi was my favorite. Um, Obviously, the prequels aren't, as a whole, aren't as good. But this was a modern, it has the modern effects of the prequels while having the more interesting story and characters of the original trilogy, which is the best part. And it includes the characters from the original trilogy. I really like what they did with Han and Leia and what happened with them. I know it's like a dark, tragic timeline, but it's so very interesting and it invokes so much more questions, like how many I'm being vague for no reason. How many people was Luke training? You know, did Kylo Ren kill all of them? I'm not quite sure. Who is this? I forget what it's called. The alien being he's speaking to, the giant projection. Who's that? What does that have any play into any of this? It's all very interesting, and I love seeing it and seeing these things for the first time in a while. Particularly the characters that we don't see for a long time. It's so good. It's so much fun, and I mean, there's nothing really to say. I'm a big fan of this movie. Some of the complaints, okay, we'll go through that. Some complaints about this movie are basically that, oh, let's talk about emo Kylo Ren. I think it's perfect. Him freaking out and like raging on the machine with his lightsaber is so good, and in a way that's so much more interesting than Vader or especially Anakin. Oh, that's the same person. Um, you know what I mean. Having him look up to Vader and you can feel it in how he acts of like, I want to be this person. He's conflicted, but he's like, I want to be as powerful, as cool as Vader was. It's so good, and it's so good to see him fail. And this sets up a great arc for him to maybe redeem himself. I guess he doesn't fail because he does succeed in killing Han, but it's so good to see a villain and they didn't kill the villain, like fucking Darth Maul is murdered. There's so many great moments. I want to see it. I haven't seen it again. I really do want to see it again. It's great. All of it's great. All of it's great. There's flying, there's shooting, there's spacing. Phasma, not so much. I think that's like a setup for later. It's gotta be because it's just a cool character that's just not really talked about. But you'd think as much as they were promoting it, she'd have a larger role. Rey's perfect in every way, and that kind of leads to one of the problems a lot of people talk about is that she's too good at flying. Okay, we'll address these one by one. She's too good at flying. Well, she's freaking on her own, scrapping ships. I think she knows how to fly. She knows how to rebuild stuff. I can buy that. No problem with that. She's too good at fighting, especially with a lightsaber at the end. She uses a bow staff at the beginning. I think that establishes she can do that. Okay, number 3. Her being able to use the Jedi mind trick too quickly. And I agree with that one. There's no, unless she had seen this mind trick being done, there is no reason for her to have known that that's a thing you can do. And maybe I can rationalize it in that as Kylo Ren is interrogating her, he kind of gives her the idea, like he can feel the Force probing around, however the Force works, and she can get that impression of like, oh, you can control people's thoughts. That's what he's trying to do right now. I can try that on this stormtrooper. It's a stretch. It's a big stretch to get there, but I can buy that. And she's probably Luke's daughter, I think. So I can buy it there too. The Force is strong. Got Finn. I think Finn's great too. Really cool character. Some people complain that he's like a brainwashed stormtrooper, and then he's joking around immediately. But I think his nervousness and his almost cowardice at times is very humanizing for him, and for this movie it's very very well done. This movie is just so much fun to watch and to see, and it's so good. It's so good. I really enjoyed it in a way that I didn't enjoy, I don't know, a lot of them. uh, and specifically with Han, we get to see him interacting with, he's caught in like this trade embargo. He's trying to find the Millennium Falcon. He's got all these issues. This is the Han I like. This is the how do I get myself out of this situation Han. That's the best Han. Poe is an interesting character in that I completely forgot that he was in the movie. That's it. This movie's great. I think it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Much better than OBS, which is garbage and I hate it. Irrelevant information. I can't believe it broke. This thing never breaks. It was working fine. All of a sudden, oh, it's broken. Oh, it's broken now. Thank you. Thanks for working. Thanks for working out. Ridiculous. I will say, actually, about this movie, they do use a lot of practical effects, and they were big about talking about them before it came out. It almost does look weird. It almost gives the film a weird look, like a realism weirdness. It almost feels like crunchy at times, where it's like, it's too real. We've been too CG'd, and we get to this, and it's like, why can't I tell this is CG? Obviously, you can tell some of it's CG, but it's an interesting difference in that you can tell this movie, there's something weird about this movie, even if you don't know it. Even if you don't know it's using a lot of practical effects. You can tell it's weird. Like it's not that something's off, it's something's not off. Like they're doing this scene with explosions and stuff, and you're like, something's not off here. This is real. This is actually happening. And it does. That's what was good about, the original trilogy. There's too many movies here now. It's getting really confusing. Now we gotta have the original trilogy, the prequels, and then the sequels. Baffling. I don't like it. Brain's too small. I can barely operate OBS. You expect me to do that too? Ridiculous.